Kaboom, man! Welcome back to the channel here. It's the Mac, and welcome back to another Panzer campaign's Smolensk 41 coverage here. And due to the recent news of the Wargame Design Studios taking over the complete catalog of Untitled software here, what good news to bring you the first ever title released from the Panzer campaigns, Smolensk 41, originally released back in 1999, man. So one of the first. This is the first Panzer campaign that was released. And what better to cover it, I guess. So this is also the new version, so to speak, that has come out of the Wargame Design Studios. It's version 4.0, I think it's called. So it's been implemented with all the goodies, all the updates and all the tweaks that have been coming to the Panzer campaign so past few years now. I've also been covering on the channel. And this one has the latest of the latest. It's right off the fresh website there. And got it upgraded and it's ready to go. So I'm going to showcase the first Panzer campaigns. It's what this video is about. We're going to have a look at the content, what you get with the game, and what it's all about. Very interesting title, this, I got to say. It's right there in the start of the Operation Barbarossa there, the massive invasion to the east there of the German army. And it's also a very important battle. The Battle of Smolensk was a very vital, important battle of the campaign. In various reasons, in various ways, it had a big impact on the rest of the outcome of on the Eastern Front there. So that's what it looks like now when you fire it up. Let's have a look at the game folder there first and check out what comes with the game here. So here we go. That's what I've been saying. It's always good to go in here. You'll find all the stuff, all the documentations, all the goodies, everything you need. So right off the bat here, you got, this is an important file to have a look at, because this is what tells you what the patch 4.0 is all about, the changelog there. What do you get now? You get an updated getting started PDF, which is great, because the old one was kind of outdated, and for new people coming into these games and playing them, it probably would be hard to follow it, I guess. Even the pictures there were outdated, but now it's all been worked over there. You got an updated scenario description, including recommended optional rules. This is good, because I think I've been talking about this in my videos, and some of the newer titles that were released, the Panzer campaigns, actually had that, and the old didn't. But now I think they are going to do that on every single title there. So, because this is really good, because when you're in the game, right off the bat, you can easily read the description. You know what kind of rules you want to click in there to get the best and recommended out of the scenario. So they have that now on every description, which is great. There's also been a revised alternative assault rule. Bunkers, pillboxes, forts are not considered hard targets for assaults. Okay, this is interesting. All units use their assault values rather than their hard values when attacking a fortification. Okay, so they have scrapped that and they've changed that rule. That's interesting. That's going to be fun to try out and see how that actually works in the game there. Because that was, they probably will, we're going to have a look at that, what that means, but it sounds interesting. They have a new fortification type. Forts are similar to pillboxes, but have 1.5 times higher defense benefits. Wow, okay. They have revised the user manual, which now incorporates the program help material. That's great. They revised the default optional rules, so they've all been revised now. Core attachments have been changed to allow corps and armies to be attached to organizations in the game. That's cool as well. The restriction on Soviet attachment organization 41 and subsequent no longer applies. Okay, there's a new hotkey tab. I rarely use hotkeys actually, but if you can get the hang of that and get that in your game flow, it's probably the best way to play this game. I mean, you'll probably play faster. I'm old school. I keep clicking and clicking, wearing my mouse out, but I like it too. You know, I like to have full control of my what I click and what I select. But there's a ton of hotkeys in these games, so do check them out. And here you have the old patch note from the 2.02 one when they have the enhanced graphics there, and yeah, so all this has been implemented. So shitload of stuff. It's going to be cool to check out. Right, let's go back. Right, so you have some pictures of the different victory conditions there, the cover of the box. Here you have the parameter data editor use if you're going into to edit and make your own scenarios and stuff. They have documentation covering that. I think this is a using the editor. I've never done that myself, but some of you guys probably. There's a license agreement there. They have military abbreviation terms. It's good to know if you don't know your German, what it means, different things. You can read about that. Then you have the almighty notes, which is kind of small in this actually, because I'm not sure why, but they have. But you will see later on that the manual and the getting started material is very much extended. So these are the actual notes, and it basically tells you. You'll get a good feel of what this whole operation was about, basically. And so what was the Battle of Smolensk all about? I mean, it's called the first Battle of Smolensk because there were battles later on when once the Germans were on the retreat and the Russians were on the offensive. But this is the first. The first battle was when the Germans attacked into Russia there, and it was a battle that was around. It was fought, yeah. It was basically fought around the city of Smolensk, and I think the operation lasted between the 10th of July and to about 10th of September. I think it was like 2 months, and it took place about 400 kilometers, I think 250 miles in English, west of Moscow there, and the German army was also referred to as the Ostheer. Here, can't really pronounce it. Maybe Ostheer was basically the Eastern Army, and they advanced sort of like 500 kilometers to Russia there, in the 18 days after the invasion of the 22nd of June 1941. So that was some major attack going on there. So actually around the Smolensk area there was a couple of Soviet armies. I think it was the 16th, the 19th, and the 20th. And they were actually encircled and destroyed in this operation here. So the Russians took huge casualties and a lot of prisoners of war. And we know what happened to them. Many did not make it. Many were sent just to camps, and they were forced into all kinds of different labor for the Third Reich there, and yeah, it was pretty bad. But a lot of men actually escaped the pocket as well to fight another day, and it was sort of a drawn-out battle. I mean, I think the Germans had not planned it to be that drawn out that it actually became, and I think I read somewhere that many historians and many people who are, scholared into this, they believe that the drawn-out battle actually cost the Germans the Battle for Moscow later on in December 1941 there, that the delay was so significant that's why they didn't actually make it to Moscow. The winter came and the Rasputin and all that, but it was a reason for not succeeding in capturing Moscow there the first year, because even though the Russians were completely crushed and smashed, it was enough to delay the German advance that would have steamrolled all the way to Moscow probably in the coming months if it wasn't for this big fight that took place, big battles around Smolensk there. So the first phase is usually called the Encirclement Battle, sort of, and the first sort of Soviet counterattacks of the war as well on the front there. And there was some pretty bloody engagements and huge casualties on the Russian part there. And you have I think the second phase was the German offenses on the flanks, and then the subsequent Soviet counteroffenses that took place there. So big operations there, but quite fluent battle as well. And this title, as it was released in 1999, is still regarded in many gamers, John Tiller fans, as one of the best titles, basically, because it's a real mobile warfare. You're moving around and you're smashing left and right. You gotta, it's not so static. If you're playing the Germans, you're constantly on the attack to smash through defense lines and circle units and destroy them and move to capture Smolensk, basically. So it's a very popular title. Same goes with the France 1940 Panzer campaigns France. There, it's a real good title as well if you are into the mobile warfare. If you want to, dive into that, I can recommend that title as well. I think I've covered it on the channel. It's a real fun title to play because, especially when you're playing the Germans there on the advance, you got to find weak spots and attack and go through the lines and circle divisions and battalions and knock them out and stuff. This is what Smolensk is about as well. So basically what all I said here is what this one takes up here. It was also the time of the Hans Guderian and those famous Panzer generals of the German army, Hoff's 3rd Panzer Group as well, when they really outshined in tactics the enemy there. Bear in mind that the Germans still had the advantage of the Blitzkrieg and the combined arms. The combined warfare of having the Luftwaffe supporting the Panzers and the land forces advancing, good coordination, good tactics, and the Russians were still fighting like the old, outdated tactics, basically. That's why the Germans were they were outnumbered in many cases, but they had the superiority in tactics going for them there. So that's what this one tells you about. It gives you good meat in the bones here about the whole operation, what happened. So that's a good read. What else? What else is in here? You have the planning maps. This is a huge map. This is the whole operation here. It's pretty big, it's pretty badass map here. You can zoom in. It's pretty good resolution as well. So here it is, the whole main map there. You have the old Panzer campaigns program help here. I think I've shown that in previous showcases, but here you have a lot of help when it comes to the main program, then the menus, how everything works out here. So that's a good read. What else? You have designer notes for the expansion pack. We'll go into that more when we look at the scenarios. And of course, they all have so here you have a Smolensk situation map, the 20th July there. So they include some really cool documentation here to have a look at. If you want to recreate this as historically accurate as possible and move your units like the Germans did or the Russians, they have all that in here, which is great fun. Great way to experience the battle and learn what actually happened there. So they have the alternative campaign changes there from the Edward Kahneman scenarios. They're included as well. They have a printable Smolensk map, so you can print out and sort of make notes on, and then maybe completely change the historical movement of divisions and make your own sort of plan there. They have all these. These are great. I love this stuff when they include this because you can actually see historically how the different formations moved and how they attacked. So they have the situation map there from the July 7th there, 1941. Guderian's Panzer Group 2 crosses the Dnieper north and south of Mogilev here. And General Hoff's Panzer Group 3 envelopes Vitebsk and strikes across the Dvina River there. Yep. So good stuff there. And they have different for all the different times there on the actual attack there. Smolensk planning map there. They have a situation map of the 12th. So that was the 20th of July. It's the 12th. These are like original maps, man. You can tell. It's pretty cool. They actually included that. It's pretty hard to read, but I guess it's fun to just have a look at. And here we go. They have revised the getting started documentation, which is really good. This looks fresh and crisp and really good stuff here. So here you go. They have it all here. I mean, if you do this, you'll have a really good understanding of the game. Tells you what kind of scenario to pick, which side to fight on, the optional rules, the objective of the game there. What this is like telling you what to do, sort of a guide on tactics and movement, and sort of follow it, and you will get into certain situations so you can learn how to actually play the game there. Yeah, it really looks nice, this revised version here. Nice crisp images, good text. Yeah, so this is really nice. This is looking cool in the future, for the future releases as well. So they got that revised. What else? And the almighty user manual. Boom. 233 pages, man. Yeah, so they have revised this. I was going to check this out because this could be interesting. The optional rules, and I love this. I think I spoke about this in one of my previous videos. That I wish they had like a one that covers the optional rules that you can just click on. And look at that! Wow, they got it. So there was a difference here in the. Let's look at the changelog again there. So they have revised the alternative assault rule on bunkers there. So that's I like that. That's going to be fun to actually try out in the real game there. They're taking off that hard value, and you can just have a plain assault value to have your chance to take over like bunkers and forts and stuff. They have revised the default optional rules here. So artillery setup. Just going to have a quick look. What is the difference here? So let's have a look here. User manual defensive fire. Yeah, this is when you have the phased combat. I don't think many people play with the phased combat in the Panzer campaigns. I mean, in the musket and pike series, it makes sense, but yeah, most players do not play using the ops option. Yeah, so it's never a default rule. Yeah, I guess it would be a different experience, definitely, to have that in. To play that. I never tried it, but it would be definitely an experience. Automatic defense fire is never as default. All right. The alternative fire rules. Default for Normandy 44 and Tobruk. So that's cool. Look at these cool images they put in here. Wow. So the artillery setup refers to the rules detailed in supply and artillery section. Basically, units are no longer capable of indirect fire immediately after moving. Each turn after artillery has deployed for movement, there's a percentage chance of setting up an indirect fire. That's good. I mean, it makes sense. It's realistic. What else was there? There was Recon Spotting. Is there actually something new about that? Default for all titles. That's cool. That wasn't default before, so they actually made it default now. The Recon Spotting rules are detailed in the spotting concealment section. Reconnaissance units will use 1/3 of its movement points to attempt to reveal concealed enemy units at a range of current visibility plus 1 hex. Yeah, I think that's new. Any units revealed may be either fully spotted or marked as an unknown unit. Subsequent recon spotting attempts may reveal more information. Yeah, so that's cool. They changed that. Virtual supply trucks. Okay, what's new about that? It's actually default now for all titles as well. Computes a path of minimum movement cost of motorized units in travel mode between its supply source and the location of friendly forces. Movement cost is then used to compute the drop in supply value. Okay, I like it. It looks promising. Low visibility air effects. All right. This causes conditions of low visibility results in a reduction in air unit availability. The exact percentage reduction that applies to a given scenario are given in parameters data. It is only an optional rule, as it did not exist when the first titles were released. All right. So now it's actually default for all titles there. All right. Interesting. Interesting. What else? Quality fatigue modifier and counter battery fire in programmed weather. All right. Extended patrolling? Yeah, this is for Schlitt 44 there. Wow. Yeah, it's going to be fun to try these out. It's going to be good stuff. Yeah, so they have revised everything here. I mean, I like it. It's going to be so fun to try battle out here. So that's what you get in the game folder there. I mean, there's more. I mean, like I can't. You guys gonna have to explore it, I guess. But there's basically most of the most important stuff there. So what happens? You go into the game. Yeah. So we were here before. Let's go to selection there, right? So what kind of scenarios do you get here? A bunch, shitload of scenarios here. So they have some early engagement here from the 7th of July there. And look right off the bat, you guys can see here that they've actually changed this now. So it's recommended rules. There's good briefing there. And I guess if a scenario doesn't say if it's recommended to play on any side, it's probably okay to play from whatever side you wish. So that's cool. Because I noticed in some of them it actually says recommended as Axis something versus allied AI or allied human control and stuff like that. So it will tell you in the text. So they have Orsha, Vibetsk, Mogilev, and here are the big. This is the original campaign. This is the standard historical campaign game covering the entire battle for a period of 2.5 weeks. All right. So it tells you here and what kind of rules you want there. Here they have different versions of this. They have the this campaign game variation with extra forces added to both sides. The battle covers a period of 2.5 weeks. All right. Here you have gives the Germans a slight handicap in extra forces. This campaign game has a slight handicap for the Soviet player of extra forces. Interesting. Then you have the alternative campaign there from Edwin K. It says Michael Avenzini and Rick Bancroft. All right. But it's using the old alternative rules there. You find that document, and it's actually stated here, so you don't have to double click that. I mean, you can. The rules are here, so you don't have to go into that every time you want to check what kind of rules were actually recommended there. Additional information can be found in the Smolensk 41 alternate campaign changes doc, Smolensk SP summary doc. Yeah, so we saw them in the folder here. Where was it? Here you go. Yeah, I'm using an old OpenXP program, so bear with me. Yeah, so here you go. Here's all the documentations on that. Why it's been implemented and stuff. XP to drive over the Dnieper. What's this? This looks interesting. Version 4. This is a modified head-to-head version of the Mogilev scenario from the Michael Avenzini and Rick Bancroft there XP2 scenario pack, which at the time of writing had a blitz score of of 1 German win against 11 Russian wins. Okay, so it's been revised there. This looks cool. This looks promising. A bunch of new stuff here that comes with the game. What's this? Here you have additional information found. Yeah, so these are the ones we looked at. And then you go into so this is the alternative of the Orsha. I guess that's the first one there, yeah. You have Orsha Original. What's the difference within this one here? It's 25 turns. This is a medium-sized scenario that covers the south area in the early part of the campaign there. Okay. And this one here takes at least 10 days, all right. Vitebsk, Mogilev, lots of different versions here. They have a PBM version intended for a head-to-head play only. Yeah, lots of stuff to get into here. I'm going to scroll through the scenarios. You guys can pause the video if you want to read them. Seems to be more scenarios as well. I think these OP ones are for the learning curve of the game there. It introduces airborne forces there. Here you have mechanized division has been cut off from the retreating Russian forces. You must attempt to break out from the current position towards the main Russian force. So these are these are probably just operational ones that you can sort of. I mean, they're not very long, like 7 turns. So it's pretty cool. This is a hypothetical operation situation. The German 7th Panzer Division attempts to split the Smolensk to Moscow highway during the encirclement of Smolensk, while the Russians 101st Tank Division and the KV-1 tanks contest the move. That one sounds really interesting. Yeslevo, Smolensk 10, Operation 10 there. The Beer Lashes. Wow. Yeah, so I'm going to pick one of these scenarios and play it. You guys can see the game. I mean, we can open one up here. You can see the enhanced graphics. Let's open the bigger, like for instance, some of the bigger ones. Look at the original campaign here. So I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to keep it a manual there. You can have a look at the rules. So now that all the rules are here present now. You can choose at your discretion, I guess. So this is the main thing. Here we go. Your units are available. 4 out of 13 is at command. Yeah, look at this. They got the you still have the 3D zoom-in views, but they have implemented this high resolution zoom-in that was very popular. Now I think every single Panzer campaign has got this update as well now. So it's what we've been waiting for, man. Okay, look at this. 20th Panzer Division. Stumpf. Wow, look at the forces here, man. 74 Panzer 38s there in that. It's a pretty big unit. 20th Panzer Division there. So you can zoom out. Here we go, a big view. That's where the Germans came in. You have Vitebsk in the north there. And Orsha in the south. So it goes quite long down here to Mogilev there, yeah. Not that many units on the map at the start. The Russians poured in reinforcements here, but this is the thinly held line here, which the Germans got some bridgeheads going and just smashed through these. These were still pretty badass units coming fresh from the operation there. Many of these have been fighting in France as well and taking over the West. So you'll probably find, yeah, many of the Russians will probably be in morale D there, and the Germans will be in A's and B's this time. Moving east, we'll see Smolensk. So at the 7th of July, there were forces here in Smolensk. 16th Army headquarters there. All moving to stem the tide, basically. So this, you can see here, this pretty open map, man. This is tank blitzkrieg style warfare, moving your forces quickly, smash through lines, encirclements, capturing key objectives. So there was a reason this was a very popular title when it was released. So it's also the first original Panzer campaigns here. Roslavi, 5th Rifle Division here, man. Looking nice and crisp, man. Yes, I'm gonna play a scenario here. I haven't actually chosen one yet, and it's gonna be part 2 of this showcase. So I'm gonna try and pick a good one, not too long, sort of a medium-sized one. So trying to find an interesting part. I mean, all the scenarios are interesting, but I'm going to find one that's going to be fun to play and see if I can change history, I guess. Yeah, so look at that. That's pretty cool. But they have smaller ones, of course. I mean, this one looks interesting as well. So this is smaller here. It's just the front there of Mogilev and Orsha there. It's where you have the 18th, yeah, 18th Panzer Division. 17th there. I think they had some SS coming in as well early. Yeah, what's this? Das Reich Division, motorized. Look at these guys. 950 men. Wow. Der Führer Regiment. Wow, look at these guys. They are badasses. Jeez. Pretty powerful units here. Lots of guys. 10th Panzer. Schal. Yeah, they were pretty experienced. They took part in the invasion of France there. Wow. Yeah. Cool. Right. So I'm gonna pick something. Don't know what. I'm gonna have a look off camera and choose a scenario. Or if you guys saw something that's looked interesting, type in the comments, and I will take that into consideration. Maybe play that, whatever you guys want to see here. Otherwise, I'll pick something smallish, medium, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so the past campaigns, man. Smolensk 41, fresh new release, version 4.0. Wargame Design Studios, taking over. The legendary John Tiller. Wow. Exciting times, man, for wargaming. All right, so I'm going to wrap the video up here, actually, and I'll see you guys in the next. So have a good one, and take care, and I'll see you in the next part.